יום שישי, השעון כבר מראה צהריים, והשמש צועקת לקום, מתארגן, מתלבש מצחצח שיניים, לוקח תיק קטן, אני כמעט מוכן, היום הולכים לים. ברדיו כולתום נזכר שלא אכלתי כלום, אני חונה שנייה מגיע. בים שישי בצהריים, כל שבוע זה רק בירות מכות ושמיים, כולם זרוקים כאן על החול, ואת עוברת כמו בשיר, עם בגד ים זעיר, אולי הכי יפה בעיר. הראש קצת מסתובב, הלב מרגיש רעב, בירות שמש זה שילוב כואב. יום שישי, השעון כבר מראה בין 40, והשמש צוללת לאט, מתקפל ושוטף את החול ברגליים, ואת ממש ממול, מנסה להיות קצת קול, ואת הלב רק להרגיע. מתקרבת בחיוך, לחוץ מרגיש חשוף, סליחה לאן אתה מגיע. בים שישי בצהריים, כל שבוע זה רק בירות מכות ושמיים, כולם זרוקים כאן על החול, ואת עוברת כמו בשיר, עם בגד ים זעיר, אולי הכי יפה בעיר. הראש קצת מסתובב, הלב מרגיש רעב, בירות שמש זה שילוב כואב. ים שישי בצהריים, כל שבוע זה רק בירות מכות ושמיים, כולם זרוקים שם בים. שישי בצהריים, כל שבוע זה רק בירות מכות ושמיים, כולם זרוקים כאן על החול, ואת עוברת כמו בשיר, עם בגד ים זעיר, אולי הכי יפה בעיר. הראש קצת מסתובב, הלב מרגיש רעב, בירות שמש זה שילוב כואב. ושנינו במכונית, אני ביישן את חייכנית, וזה בדיוק מה שאת אוהבת.
אושר מתקרב, הצלחת להתגנב, אור שלא עוזב, הוא מתגלה בחושך, בכל קצוות תבל, מי שהוא מסתכל, אומר תודה לאל, על אהבת אמת, איך שאת רוקדת, גם הלב שלי רוקד איתנו. מים רבים לא יכבו את האש שלנו, לא. ואת יחפה, אדמה רועדת, איך אחרי כל השנים הרגשתי שייך, בת מהמדבר כמו סופה נודדת, כשחיפשתי את עצמי מצאתי אותה. רוצה להתמכר לטוב שמתגבר, אם הלב אומר בטח שהוא יודע, תכף נתעורר לניגון אחר, לא צריך יותר, יש עוד מסע שלם. איך שאת רוקדת גם הכוכבים רוקדים איתנו. מים רבים לא יכבו את האש שלנו.
בואי נרוץ רחוק, תני לי רק כמה דקות להיזכר במקומות שאז היינו ילדים. לא פחדנו סתם לחיות, בלי המינוס הצרות, בלי לתלות את התקוות, כמו כביסה על חבלים, כמו איזה שני משוגעים בחוף. שמרנו רגעים בלב, שתינו את הנוף, ואת היית יפה כמו פרח שאסור היה לקטוף. רציתי רק לקטוף אותך, רציתי לקטוף, כמו איזה שני משוגעים בחוף. שמרנו רגעים בלב, שתינו את הנוף, ואת היית יפה כמו פרח שאסור היה לקטוף. רציתי רק לקטוף אותך, רציתי לקטוף, כמו איזה שני משוגעים. רחוק ברגליים יחפות מזיכרונות ואכזבות שאז רצינו לשחרר. כמעט ויתרנו על עצמנו, נברח רחוק מהשגרה, כמו אז שהסתפקנו באושר הפשוט, כמו איזה שני משוגעים בחוף. שמרנו רגעים בלב, שתינו את הנוף, ואת היית יפה כמו פרח שאסור היה לקטוף. רציתי רק לקטוף אותך, רציתי לקטוף, כמו איזה שני משוגעים בחוף. שמרנו רגעים בלב, שתינו את הנוף, ואת היית יפה כמו פרח שאסור היה לקטוף. רציתי רק לקטוף אותך, רציתי לקטוף, כמו איזה שני משוגעים. כמו איזה שני משוגעים בחוף. שמרנו רגעים בלב, שתינו את הנוף, ואת היית יפה כמו פרח שאסור היה לקטוף. רציתי רק לקטוף אותך, רציתי לקטוף, כמו איזה שני משוגעים.
חיכית לי ואני תמיד חיכיתי לך, והנה היום הזה הגיע. עכשיו מבטיח שאף פעם לא תהי לבד, ואם פתאום תעלמי אחכה כל הלילה ואלחש בתפילה שאליי תחזרי. ואם תבואי אליי נשאר כל הלילה ואלחש לך מילים שתדעי שאני שלך, ובבוקר תראי נשאר ביחד, הולכים את הדרך הזו לתמיד יד ביד. ואם תבואי אליי נשאר כל הלילה ואלחש לך מילים שתדעי שאני שלך, ובבוקר תראי נשאר ביחד, הולכים את הדרך הזו לתמיד יד ביד. עכשיו הגיע הרגע, הרי חיכית לי ואני תמיד חיכיתי לך, והנה היום הזה הגיע. עכשיו מבטיח שאף פעם לא תהי לבד, ואם פתאום תעלמי אחכה כל הלילה ואלחש בתפילה שאליי תחזרי. ואם תבואי אליי נשאר כל הלילה ואלחש לך מילים שתדעי שאני שלך, ובבוקר תראי נשאר ביחד, הולכים את הדרך הזו לתמיד יד ביד. ואם תבואי אליי נשאר כל הלילה ואלחש לך מילים שתדעי שאני שלך, ובבוקר תראי נשאר ביחד, הולכים את הדרך הזו לתמיד יד ביד. ואם תבואי אליי נשאר כל הלילה ואלחש לך מילים שתדעי שאני שלך, ובבוקר תראי נשאר ביחד, הולכים את הדרך הזו לתמיד יד ביד. ואם תבואי אליי נשאר כל הלילה ואלחש לך מילים שתדעי שאני שלך.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your virtual seats. This evening's Tree of Life virtual gala honoring Cynthia and Harold Guttman will commence in 2 minutes.
יום שישי, השעון כבר מראה צהריים, והשמש צועקת לקום, מתארגן, מתלבש מצחצח שיניים, לוקח תיק קטן, אני כמעט מוכן, היום הולכים לים. ברדיו קולטום נזכר שלא אכלתי כלום, אני חונה שנייה מגיע. בים שישי בצהריים, כל שבוע זה רק בירות מכות ושמיים, כולם זרוקים כאן על החול ואת עוברת כמו בשיר, עם בגד ים זעיר, אולי הכי יפה בעיר. הראש קצת מסתובב, הלב מרגיש רעב, בירות שמש זה שילוב כואב. יום שישי, השעון כבר מראה בין 4.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jewish National Fund USA, National Vice President of Major Gifts, and Cincinnati Tree of Life Co-Chair Nina Paul.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct pleasure to welcome you to this evening's special Tree of Life Award. Although we are coming together virtually, I really feel like I'm sitting right next to you as we pay tribute to our Tree of Life honorees, Cynthia and Harold Guttman, whom I call my dear friends, to me, to my family, our community, and to Israel. We're also celebrating our love and support for the land and the people of Israel and the Jewish people everywhere. Before we begin, I would like to thank our sponsors, our board members, and our ambassadors. Many people don't realize that Jewish National Fund USA is an organization led by lay leaders along with our JNF USA staff. Every major philanthropic investment that we make in Israel is guided by us working together. With that in mind, I would like to thank my co-chair, Barbara Gould, and our executive director of the Ohio Valley, Eric Goldstein. When you become a member of Jewish National Fund USA Ohio Valley Board, you just don't invest your philanthropic dollars. You invest your time and energy in creating a better future for the land and the people of Israel. So thanks to them and everyone on today's call, we remain the premier philanthropic organization for Israel. Toda rabah.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? כל עוד בלב הפנימה נפש יהודי הומייה, ופתן מזרח קדימה, העין לציון סופיה. עוד לא תקוותנו, התקווה שמות אלפיים, להיות תמחושית בארצנו, ארץ ציון ירושלים. להיות תמחושית בארצנו, ארץ ציון ירושלים.
When we are doubted, we excel. When people say it can't be done, we do the impossible. When we are surrounded by hatred, we choose love. It began as a dream that one day the Jewish people will again have a home. That vision became a reality. This is Israel. This is Zionism. This is Jewish National Fund USA. It's time to write the next chapter in the Zionist story. Travel the country and you'll see it's happening. A renaissance in the desert. Coexistence in the Galilee. Synagogues, mosques, and churches. Ancient traditions in a modern land. Diversity. Inclusion. Employment. This is Israel. This is Zionism. This is Jewish National Fund USA. Zionism is starting a new community on barren desert plains. It's growing vegetables where there's no rain. It's solving environmental problems, and it's sharing our expertise with the world. Nothing is easy. Things don't always go our way. When we are attacked, we come back stronger. Whether the world is with us or against us, we remember who we are, and we teach it to our children. Whatever challenges come our way, Zionism ensures that we are never alone. When we remember that we always have each other, nothing can stand in our way. Let's build a better world together.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jewish National Fund USA Cincinnati immediate past president and past Tree of Life honoree, Rhonda Sheekley.
Tonight, we honor Cindy and Harold Guttman, a family, a great family, and family means everything to them and their connection to Israel. Tonight, faced with the pandemic and crisis in Israel, I want to say thank you to you, our donors, who are engaged and committed to supporting the work that JNF provides on behalf of the land and the people of Israel. I want to thank you for choosing JNF to be your voice in Israel, to stand strong and committed with your family here in America and with our family in Israel. Every day, our thoughts, values, and choices are being challenged. What I do know is the Jewish National Fund is as committed as ever to providing support to Israel. Every aspect of Israeli life is impacted by your support of the Jewish National Fund. JNF works in partnership with you as our investor and our family in Israel to get the job done. I have met our partners in Israel and have reached out to them in the last week. Their appreciation and gratitude for what we, JNF USA, has provided is unmeasurable. Today, the indoor playground in Sderot is full with families safe from rocket fire, where they can have some sense of normalcy amidst the terror and fear of the outside. Our resilience centers and trauma staff are working with families and children to provide support and comfort during these horrific times. Thank you, JNF USA, for this safe haven. The Israeli fire and rescue services are ranked best in the world and specialists in responding to acts of terror. Thank you to JNF USA. These brave men and women are now equipped for all emergencies with state-of-the-art modern fire trucks, facilities, life-saving equipment, and protective gear. Israel is a nation that has benefited from your generosity. JNF continues, as always, to help build and preserve the land and the people of Israel. Each time I return from Israel, I have a personal sense of pride for my commitment to the families of Israel, Jewish, Muslim, and Christian. There can only be one constant in our lives, that Israel maintains its existence and that the great dream for peace is realized, and that our people will always have a homeland to turn to when needed. Eleanor Roosevelt said, "The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams." JNF is dedicated to the dream of Ben-Gurion. We, together with JNF, will continue to support the dream. To build a nation, a land that is safe and secure, a country that is vibrant, answering the challenges of everyday life and utilizing every opportunity to plan for the future, and a people, a nation, who respect democracy, all religions of the world, and the United States of America. Those who have supported this evening, I thank you, and I ask those who have not to join fellow Cincinnatians in making a thoughtful and most needed donation to the Jewish National Fund USA. Show us your passion and promise to Israel. Shalom, peace to you and your family.
Thank you, Rhonda, for sharing that powerful message. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome this evening's moderator, Brittany Ruby Miller.
Good evening, everyone, and congratulations to Harold and Cynthia Guttman on a well-deserved Tree of Life Award. Today, we are honored to have a dynamic panel of culinary experts with us. Lior Lev Surkars is the Chief Culinary Officer and co-founder of the Galilee Culinary Institute by Jewish National Fund USA. Nathan Hoffman is the Chief Executive Officer of the Galilee Culinary Institute by Jewish National Fund USA. And Grace Yeck, Program Chair for the Midwest Culinary Institute at Cincinnati State. Welcome, everyone. Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome. So for Lior, how did the whole Galilee Culinary Institute, GCI, come about from inception?
I left Israel in 1997 to study abroad in France. And I think since that morning at Ben Gurion Airport, the idea bothered me that there was just no options for Israelis back then to learn about culinary education. For the last 20 years or so, I kind of repolished that concept and met Jewish National Fund USA and Russell Robinson and Nathan and started thinking of a much bigger picture of an international culinary institute that has a much bigger mission. But it really started in 1997, and this idea of bringing culinary education to Israel and to now expose the amazing things that are happening in Israel and in the Middle East to the whole world.
Excellent. For Grace, explain the uniqueness of the Midwest Culinary Institute, MCI, and why is it one of the best in the country?
Yeah, so the Midwest Culinary Institute, or MCI, is renowned for its outstanding faculty and programs that are centered on food, beverage, and hospitality. So just to give you an idea, we have programs in culinary arts, pastry arts, hospitality management, dietetics. Just a few years ago, we rolled out brewing science. Yes, brewing science. And I guess the latest or newest kid to join the block is this brand new Bachelor of Applied Science program in culinary and food science. We have state-of-the-art facilities on campus. We have 12 fully equipped commercial kitchens, which includes what we call the demonstration kitchen. It pretty much looks like a studio kitchen that you see on TV. As part of our facilities, we also have a restaurant on site. It's called Summit Restaurant. And that's part of our education and training for our program students. We are an accredited college by the Higher Learning Commission. Program-wise, we are accredited by the American Culinary Federation. In fact, we have been given the status of exemplary by the ACF. I should also mention one of the things that makes us stand out is really our understanding and emphasis of experiential learning. We send our students out to work in the industry, and this is all part of the curriculum and program. As a result of that, our students enjoy high placement rates, and also there really isn't a whole lot of space between what we do as an educational institution and what the industry does as their practices. And we also have a close understanding of what the needs are of the industry.
Excellent. And I have a heart for the Midwest Culinary Institute. So I agree with all of that you said. For Nathan, describe the uniqueness of the Galilee Culinary Institute and the differences that you see between the two.
Yeah, so We have four things that I would say, really make us unique and stand out. The first is we really want to focus on culinary leaders. So it's not only chefs, it's not only individuals that want to cook, but people that want to start their own businesses, that want to get involved in the community, manufacturing, food media. So culinary leadership is something we're really focused on. Another piece is the region. I mean, the north of Israel is 45% Jewish, meaning it's 55% not Jewish, which explains how diverse it really is. We have so many different cultures and ethnicities in such a small area. We're able to learn from so many different groups of people, their styles, their cultures, and how they came to create certain dishes. So it's very, very diverse with different types of people, which is very unique, obviously, to the rest of the world. Um, the next is we have a focus in three areas, and these areas aren't traditionally, we don't people don't usually dive into these areas. So we had a lot of discussions with people from summits and experts from all over the world, and we had these conversations, and we focused on three areas. Entrepreneurship, like I was saying, before, very important today, with being able to, turn on a dime, whatever has to happen with the industry. You need to be able to change and be flexible. And the second piece is storytelling. So being able to tell your story, being able to explain why you've created a dish and your background. And today, without social media or without videos and without audio, you could be in very big trouble before you even start. So we give them that experience. And the last piece is activism. So that's getting involved in the community. So, we're creating relationships right now as we speak. And the goal is to get our students to be working within the community, within the kibbutz that we're on, within the different businesses. And also, just like Grace was saying, experience is so big for us, and that gets us to me to the fourth point, which is our flagship program, which is only going to be 12 months, but it's a 12-month immersive culinary experience. Experience is so important. So exactly like Grace is doing, and something that I see as a differentiator in what we're doing and they're doing. We're both doing the same thing when it comes to making sure they get hands-on experience wherever they go. They're not going to learn about wine from a book or online. They're going to the vineyard, which is obviously where all the magic happens. So it's really I would say those are the four areas that really distinguish in what we're doing. And look, it sounds like at the end of the day, we both have a common goal of really helping the students be successful in their careers. And I think that's what, makes the MCI and the GCI to, going to be so special. So, yeah.
Excellent. All right. Thank you. For Lior, how do you see the potential transformation in the region, in the country, in the food and beverage industry?
I think that GCI is part of a much bigger movement in Israel that is happening already, will continue happening, is rethink the culinary world to all of its parts, from the ingredients, the technology, the science, and everything that goes, and innovation. Israeli being a leader for many years in the tech movement, we are now seeing how it's starting to be applying to the food world. There's no reason. There's innovation in terms of agriculture. There's celebrating the heritage of all these different ethnicities. So I think that GCI's, one of its mission is to act as a sort of something that it can propel all of these things to the world and say, this is happening here. And whatever they can use from it, this is what we want to do. We want to bring people, expose them to all of these great things happening, and then send them back to their home countries. Some might stay, some might go back to their home in Israel, but really spread the world of everything that's happening in the Galilee, in Israel, and in a magical area that actually produces all of these things.
Very good. For Nathan, do you see a potential collaboration between GCI and MCI, and how does that look?
Yeah, I mean, most definitely. I don't know fully how it looks, but I know there's got to be, some sort of collaboration when it comes to like a summer program or programs where there's students, we can exchange students and send, between the two groups, because we assume that a lot of our students will come from America as well, especially in the beginning. So there's definitely ways to collaborate. I would love to, learn more about their programs to figure out how we can maybe work together on something, whether it comes to, the beer brewing or, that's always obviously a fun part of it. Obviously one of Lior's favorites still, but there's so many ways to do it. The possibilities are really endless. It's just we want to work with like-minded entities that are really looking. Like I said, it's the end goal is helping the students. So we'll figure out a way to do it, whether it's some sort of exchange program or students that are in America somewhere closer to the Midwest. Maybe we can do some kind of program where they're able to do something at MCI and then come to GCI. But the possibilities are endless. So yeah.
And Grace, are you excited about the potential new collaboration?
Oh yeah, super excited. I've always believed that food is a universal connector. I'm really glad we're able to have this conversation today. I definitely look forward to exploring, different avenues for collaborations in the future. In this virtual and digital age, maybe we could take virtual steps, maybe compare notes, best practices, whether it's pedagogy, maybe see what the industry standards are over on your side, Nathan, and then just kind of compare notes. Maybe you could Zoom in one of our classes to observe. Who knows?
And I open the floor up to anybody for any final remarks or final thoughts.
So yeah, I just want to thank the Guttmans, Cynthia and Harold Guttman, for all that you guys do in the Guttman family, for your generous contribution and support to JNF USA. Just thank you so much. We can't wait for everyone to come out and visit, and we can't wait to work with the MCI in the future. So thank you.
I'd like to say thank you also to everybody supporting over the last few years and making this crazy dream of mine become reality. Hope to see you all in October 2021 in the Galilee. If you can't make it this October, that's okay. We'll see you next time. Can't wait to cook for you some amazing food. Grace will join. I don't know if Nathan will cook, but we'll get him to do something. So
you don't want me to do that.
Thanks a lot, and see you soon in the Galilee.
I'm really excited about this connection and honored to be on this international panel. I look forward to continuing the conversation. Goodbye for now.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ohio Secretary of State, Frank LaRose.
Well, hello, my name is Frank LaRose, and I serve as the Ohio Secretary of State. Let me first start by saying thank you for supporting the Jewish National Fund. This to me is something that is an important annual event that I always look forward to attending in person every year with you all in Cincinnati. Of course, we're not able to do it this year, but let's hope that we are able to do it in person next year. It reminds me of the old saying at the end of the Seder dinner, next year in Jerusalem. Hopefully next year in person, we will all be back together to celebrate this great organization and the work that it does. And let me also say, as somebody who's traveled multiple times to Israel, who is a proud Zionist himself, I personally care about the work that the Jewish National Fund does. I've had the chance to see some of the projects during my trips to Israel that Jewish National Fund does. I've had the chance to, during my time in the United States military, to train with the IDF. And I can tell you, they have my utmost respect because of the great work that they do. Really, thank you for supporting this great cause. And I'm really honored tonight also to present a proclamation to Cynthia and Harold Guttman. And I want to talk just briefly about them. They've got a great story. Both of them, as children, had an experience of contributing to the JNF and helping to gather funds to help plant trees in Israel. Then, of course, as adults, they became even more involved. They've specifically had great involvement in the Negev region and the wonderful park that they helped build in Beersheba. I had the chance to see that actually when I was in Israel just a year ago. I know that they've worked to help to create shelters in Sderot. I have a dear friend in Sderot who I just called a few days ago to check in on him because of all of the challenges that have been going on in that region here recently. And so from the bottom of my heart personally to the Guttmans, thank you for doing all you've done to help the people of Sderot. This is a time that the people of Israel need our support more than ever. Just in the last month, we've seen the horrific attacks that have been lobbed against defenseless civilian populations, the kind of horrific things that no civilian population should ever have to endure. And that's why it's maybe more important now than ever that we stand united with the state of Israel and that we support the JNF. And that's why I'm proud to join this year's co-chairs for the event, Barbara Gould and Nina Paul, who are great friends of mine as well, to present this on behalf of the state of Ohio. And so to the Guttmans, as the 2021 Tree of Life Award recipients, and on behalf of the people of the state of Ohio, I present this proclamation. Very nice proclamation talking about the work that they've done and how much the state of Ohio appreciates that. And so to the Guttmans, thank you so much for all that you do. And for all of you, thank you for supporting the JNF.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Cindy and Harold Guttman's children and their spouses, Lauren and Seth Guttman, Ariella and Andy Cohen, Ariel and Jonah Guttman, Herschel Guttman, Sadie and Josh Gelb, and Jerry Guttman and Aaron Burslow to share their remarks.
Our parents have given us so much over the years, yet the greatest gift we ever received from them is their moral compass and compassion. They have taught my siblings and me the importance of tzedakah, community, Israel, and our Jewish traditions. Our parents have committed themselves to build a better Jewish community, not only where they live, but especially in Israel. Early on, they planted the seeds in all of their kids that we must support Israel and the Jewish people. They did this by both giving their time and their treasure. Tradition plays an important role in our family, as it does in the Torah. Stories passed down from generations, family customs, and values all make up who we are. Our parents have continued this tradition with their 6 kids, 5 spouses, and 14 grandchildren.
One example is the tradition of Shabbat, and for the grandchildren to light candles with their bubby and say the motzi with their zaidi is really something special. Mom and Dad, your footprints have guided and inspired not only our generation and our children's, but for many generations to come. Mazel tov.
We love you.
As we raise our 5 beautiful children, we keep in our hearts the traditions you have so beautifully shown us on how to guide our kids to be good, kind, empathetic, and loving members of the world. Thank you for giving us a foundation to continue teaching the next generation of the importance of standing up for what is right, for putting family above all else, and for finding joy in the meaningful moments we spend together. Mazel tov, we love you.
We are honored to be able to present this award to our parents.
We couldn't begin to explain the profound impact our parents have had on our community. You have taught us to always be kind and compassionate to everyone and to always do the right thing. We want to say thank you, Mom and Dad, for always giving even when you're not asked.
You're an example to everyone, and we're lucky we get to call you Mom and Dad.
We love you both, we're proud of you, and on behalf of everyone, Mazel Tov and thank you.
Hi, Mom and Dad. Mazel Tov on your award. Love you, Dad. Love you, Mom.
Hello, JNF. Thank you for this opportunity to honor my parents, Harold and Cynthia Guttman. Growing up, it was apparent how much our parents cared about the Jewish community, supporting and strengthening of the state of Israel, and continuing our Jewish traditions. The concept of Tikkun Olam, building, nurturing, and contributing to the welfare of others, is central to who they are. This carries over into their tzedakah and the building and nurturing, not only in our own home, but in communities in need as well. Compassion, continuing our Jewish traditions, and supporting the one and only Jewish homeland is a part of who we are, and that is all because of the enormous example that our parents have set throughout our lives. Now we have families of our own, and through the guidance of our parents, we are now passing down these same values in our own homes. And that is something I hope my parents are proud of. I, for one, am so proud of who my parents are, and I'm thrilled to present them with this honor that they truly deserve.
Harold and Cindy, thank you so much for your generous gift to JNF, your continued support for Israel and the Jewish people. It means so much to Sadie and I, and it is an honor to be part of your family. We love you.
We love you, Mom and Dad.
Mazel tov.
Congratulations, Mom and Dad, on this honoring. We are so proud of you. We are so inspired by you.
Tova, too. We just wanted to say congrats, Mazel Tov. As your son-in-law, I've learned so much about ways to contribute to the world and make sure that our impact is meaningful. And so, obviously, you're personifying that today. We wanted to say thank you and congrats, and we love you.
Thank you for always being willing to engage in the conversation. Thank you for always being willing to instill a strong moral compass, strong values, to share your passions with us and with so many people.
Tova agrees. We love you guys.
We love you.
Congrats, Bubby and Zadie. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome this year's Jewish National Fund USA Tree of Life Award honorees, Cindy and Harold Guttman.
Good evening and welcome to the Tree of Life dinner. Thank you all for joining us here tonight. Cindy and I are honored and humbled to receive this honor, and we would like to thank JNF for selecting us as this year's recipient of the Tree of Life Award. We know we follow a very distinguished list of honorees that have provided us with the example of how to make a difference. Thank you to all the past recipients for your continued leadership and support of JNF and Israel. We would like to recognize our Israeli brothers and sisters and pray for everyone's safety during these recent terrorist attacks from Gaza. We all need to do our part in supporting them and their efforts to combat these attacks.
It's our honor to be here this evening with our children, our family, and our community. It's our humble honor to be recognized by Jewish National Fund USA to receive the Tree of Life Award. For Harold and I, it was and is most important that we raised our children and now our grandchildren with a love for the land of Israel and to support the people of Israel. We have taken great pride in our involvement with JNF over the years, with projects ranging from the development of reservoirs, water recycling, forestry, preserving heritage sites, and turning the deserts into beautiful areas for Israeli citizens. We're now very excited as our Guttman and Ackland families have together committed in blessed memory of our parents, Florence and Murray Guttman, to dedicate the kitchen and the brand new Culinary Institute in the Galilee in their memory. This Culinary Institute will once again be one of JNF's monumental accomplishments in bringing agriculture and food technology along with farming and world-class culinary arts programming to the Galilee area.
Cindy and I would like to thank all of the many sponsors that have participated to make this event so successful. We would like to now invite everyone to enjoy the wonderful program that JNF has arranged for us to enjoy together in a very creative way, to be together to celebrate Israel. Thank you all for joining JNF and our family. And again, thank you for this honor.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just heard that the doors to the main room featuring this evening's entertainment are now open. In just a few minutes, we will join thousands of other passionate supporters of Jewish National Fund USA and Israel. So sit back and relax as we virtually escort you into the main room.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just heard that the doors to the main room featuring this evening's entertainment are now open. In just a few minutes, we'll join thousands of other passionate supporters of Jewish National Fund USA and Israel. So sit back and relax as we virtually welcome you into the main room.